XOXO, Shepherd Girl. Gossip Girl tells David's story. Good morning, Jerusalem. Or should I say, good morning to everyone who wants to know the real story behind Israel's biggest rising star. Yes, I'm talking about the curly-haired redhead with a slingshot and a killer smile. David. And trust me, you've never heard his story like this before. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl, let's rewind to the beginning. I mean, way before the crowds, way before the songs. Back when David was just Jesse's kid, the youngest of 8 brothers, practically invisible in a house full of sweaty man-boys. Picture a scrappy boy with copper curls, sun-bronzed skin, and a stocky build that looked small compared to the soldier types, but screamed hidden strength. And oh, he had this look in his eyes, like he already knew he was destined to break 1,000,000 hearts. Word on the street was that David wasn't just chasing sheep around Bethlehem. According to my sources, looking at you, Uncle Abner, David legit killed a lion and a bear with his bare hands. And don't even try telling me that's normal. Because while my friends and I were braiding each other's hair and gossiping about sandal styles, David was out there saving lambs and auditioning for his own highlight reel. But let's talk about the really juicy part. The hush-hush scandal nobody was supposed to know. The secret anointing. Prophet Samuel rolled into Bethlehem like some divine talent scout, carrying his horn of oil, looking for Israel's next king. This wasn't just hush-hush. It was treason-level hush-hush. If Saul found out, heads were rolling, literally. So Samuel goes through Jesse's sons like he's rejecting them on a dating app. Swipe left, swipe left, swipe left. And then Jesse's like, well, there's David. He's out with the sheep. Cue eye roll. But Samuel takes one look at David and practically swoons. Next thing you know, oil's dripping down those fiery curls. And the future of Israel just changed forever. After that, David ends up in the palace playing harp therapy for King Saul, who, let's be real, was one bad day away from needing a permanent vacation. Saul's moods were darker than my friend Blair's eyeliner when someone wears the same dress as her. My palace sources, especially my brother, who's practically glued to Michal's side, say David's music could make even the marble pillars sigh. Servants would stop in the middle of pouring wine just to listen. And let's be honest, he was easy on the eyes, even when he was just plucking strings. But then there was Goliath. Oh, Goliath, the original monster man. Picture a mountain of bronze armor, screaming insults, daring any Israelite to fight him. My brothers came back from the battlefield pale as linen, refusing to talk about it. Until I cornered them. Because obviously, they confessed that every single soldier, including the so-called heroes, were quaking in their sandals. Goliath was out there morning and night, roaring like some deranged influencer who thinks he's bigger than the brand. But the men's pride wouldn't let them admit they were terrified. They were furious and scared and trying to look brave and failing. Meanwhile, David shows up delivering cheese and bread like he's just the lunch boy. My brothers were seething that this kid strolled into camp talking big. But David didn't care. He marched out there, sling spinning, eyes blazing. One stone later, and Goliath's down for the count. Boom. Israel goes from hiding behind rocks to screaming David's name. And here's where my life got complicated, because that's when we started singing. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. Me and all the dancer girls were out in the streets, tambourines clanging, veils swirling. And okay, I may have been leading the chorus. And okay, maybe I was jealous when I realized every girl in town was staring at David too. Now, let's talk about Michal. Think Blair Waldorf with a royal bloodline and fewer headbands. Saul's daughter, regal, beautiful, deadly when crossed. Saul offered her to whoever killed Goliath, thinking nobody ever would. Joke's on him. At first, Michal wasn't impressed. David was just a shepherd, not exactly palace material. But slowly, David started sneaking into her conversations. How he smiled, how he prayed, how he always looked like he belonged even when he didn't. And Michal started catching feelings. Hard. Trust me, my brother hears everything from Michal herself while he's helping her with her hairpins. Saul wasn't about to let things be simple. He demanded David bring him 100 Philistine foreskins. Disgusting, Classic Saul. The king thought David would die trying, but David came back with 200. 200? I mean, talk about overachieving. Michal fainted. Twice. So yeah, David and Michal got married. Palace wedding, silk, jewels, all the drama. Michal would spend hours brushing David's curls, whispering secrets, looking starry-eyed. Meanwhile, I was dying inside because, hello, I was here before Michal even knew his name. But Saul? He wasn't done. He'd sit at dinners glaring at David, fingers wrapped around his spear like he wanted to launch it across the room. One night, he actually did. David dodged, plates crashed, and Michal screamed. So romantic, right? Michal saved David that night. She stuffed an idol in the bed, covered it with goat hair, and told Saul David was sick in bed. The guards pulled back the covers and found a statue. Saul flipped out. The palace was chaos for days. My brother said you could hear Saul raging from the lower kitchens. After that, David was gone. Outlaws, wilderness. My girls and I kept trying to find news. I'd slip out to the market pretending to buy figs, just hoping to catch whispers of his whereabouts. Even dirty and hunted, David was still the story everyone was telling. Meanwhile, David's only safe place left was Jonathan, Saul's own son. They were closer than brothers. And let me tell you, Michal, was not thrilled about how close David and Jonathan were. Jonathan gave David his royal robe and weapons, basically like giving him the keys to the kingdom. But even that couldn't save David. Saul was out for blood. So David and Jonathan met one last time in the field. My palace spies said they wept so hard you'd think their hearts would crack. Jonathan said, "Go in peace." David turned and vanished into the hills, and the world suddenly felt emptier. So that's where my story stops for now. David's somewhere out there, curls catching the sun, still the secret king. And me, I'm here, dancing in the streets, pretending not to care, secretly hoping maybe one day he'll remember the girl who sang his praises before the whole world wanted a piece of him. And trust me, ladies, I'll keep spilling the tea, because in Jerusalem, there's always another secret waiting to drop. XOXO, Gossip Girl.